Hey mamas, happy Tuesday. We're back on Mama Talk Live. I'm waiting for my co-host to come in so we can talk about today's subject. I think a lot of us ladies have a lot of opinions on today's Mama Talk Live, the topic. It's an important topic, and we are excited to be here.
Hey, Mama.
Hey, Molly.
Hey.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Mama Talk Live. I'm Valentina Izarra.
And I'm Molly and Luna, and this is the place to be. This is where all-American mama, myself, sits down with Latina mamacita to discuss all topics relevant to motherhood and womanhood.
That's right. So grab your latte or your cafecito because it's about to go down. No topic is off limits.
Mama, we know you wear a million hats, from being the best career woman, the daughter, sister, friend, lover, I already said best friend. We know you wear a lot of hats, Mama.
That's right, Mama. So let's talk.
In today's episode, as Valentina was chatting about real quick, we're going to be talking about the hot topic of conversation that everybody's talking about, and that is the new women's movement.
Yes, or at least what we perceive to be like a complete new women's movement. Because from my point of view, I felt like for a while, like it seemed like the women's movement was not really happening anymore, or wasn't a subject of conversation that was hot. And all of a sudden, boom, now it's like women's empowerment and female empowerment and feminism has sort of just like sprung up into conversation. And I find that absolutely exciting, the fact that we're talking about this subject, and the fact that in this era we are not just being complacent with with the position that we have right now as women, that we are still looking at the things that we could get better at as a society, because there are still a lot of things, as a lot of these Hollywood women have pointed out, that are still wrong, and things that I guess are so-called accepted, and that now we're talking about and we're bringing to the forefront. We're saying, nope, time's up big time for these things that are still happening.
Yeah, time is up. The tyrants, the victims, the secrets, the lies, we're shining a light on it. And I have to say, deciding to do our show today on this topic, I'm a little bit nervous because, quite honestly, for me, it has felt like such a mute point for so long. And I feel like I'm kind of playing catch up, especially as a woman who works in this industry. And I just want to say that I'm so grateful for these women that are, I'm going to say, in power. They've worked very hard to be able to have the platform that they have. They're actually using that platform for good, to shine a light on these injustices that are happening within not only the industry of entertainment, but in all industries across all platforms. And I have to say, I'm really excited about it.
Yes, and you're right. It's they're taking these women that are in power, are actually using their power and their status to talk about these things that really matter. They're not shying away. I feel like they're a lot of people criticize and say, oh, they're just talking about it just to be in the limelight or to get attention. And I think it takes courage to talk about these things. A lot of these subjects are very taboo. Women, when they come out, I'm an optimist, I have to say, and I've always tend to believe people when they come out with stories like this. I really do think it's the very minority that say things just to be on the spotlight. When women come out with stories regarding sexual harassment or rape or any of these horrible things, it takes a lot of courage to say these things, because talking about these things out loud and in public is super and like very, very embarrassing. And a lot of women shy away from talking about these things because they feel that they're going to be attacked, because a lot of times women are attacked for talking about these issues, rather than automatically people jump on them and they categorize them as wanting attention, as attention grabbers. And in my opinion, these women, when they come out with these subjects, they've thought it through, and they really have gathered the courage to speak their truth. And because they are embarrassing subjects, and it's not something easy to talk about.
It's not easy to talk about, and I'm so grateful for their courage, because 1 out of every 2 women have experienced a form of sexual harassment or sexual assault. And I, being one of them, dare I say, me too, when it initially happened, I went to my supervisors and I shared my story, and I didn't have the support and the backing that I deeply desire and hope that is really emerging through this Time's Up movement. And I just have to say that I'm shaking because I'm nervous to share this, but as a woman who has had that experience, it does take a lot of courage. And if you're not, if it's not being received by the other person, it can really be easy to fall into a feeling of shame and to just kind of lock it away and forget about it. And I've experienced that, and it's not right. We should be able to share, look, this is what happened. It's not good. We need to change the way that this has been operating, and shine a light on the ugliness that it is.
Yes, shine on the ugliness indeed. Like, I don't know if you ladies saw the Oprah, the one, the speech right now that's viral of the 75th Golden Globe Awards. For any of you mamas and mamacitas out there that have not watched the speech, I was watching it last night because I wasn't able to watch the Golden Globes live on Sunday, and I was literally like bawling my eyes out throughout her entire speech because she said so many different things that I find so inspiring. Number one, yes, a new dawn is like, a new era is dawning, and we are going to change this. And the people that have to change this, we can blame men all we want, but in reality, the ones who have to take control of our destiny is ourselves. Like, we as women, I believe that it's up to us in order to change this, just like for example, Reese Witherspoon is doing in Hollywood, and she's actually created her production company, and she's now a director, and all these different women that were realizing there's not that many roles for women. And I'm one of those women that I'll look at movies and I'll literally count the roles for women versus men, because I'm an actress, and I'm like, there's like no roles for women. But what I've realized is that if that is going to change, it's not going to be the men that are writing more roles for us. It's going to be the women, and we have to take it upon ourselves to, take control and take the reins of that carriage and shift it and make those changes that we want to see in the world.
Yeah, we have to be able, as Oprah had said, speak your truth, own your divine power, own your voice, be courageous enough to speak up and out for yourself. And I know, Valentina, it's part of the reason why I'm here. How grateful, how like lucky and blessed am I to have such a cool device, my cell phone here, and the internet, to be able to connect and plug in to share my perspective and my voice with the world, where these women who had worked as activists striving for equal opportunity and rights among all people, not just the paradigm of men versus women, but of all races, genders, abilities, and whatnot, to be able to just plug in to use our voice. So if we want change in some way, we have to be the ones to speak up and demand it.
Absolutely. And Gandhi said, I think it was Gandhi, like, we have to be the change that we want to see in the world. And I also heard, I think it was the Dalai Lama who said that the world will be changed by the Western women. And I get goosebumps because he said that literally the ones to make that shift, to create, I guess, the balance in the world and to make the world a better place are going to be, us Western women, because we're going to be the ones fighting for our rights. We're going to be the ones to stand up for one another. And I think that's another thing. We need to be in solidarity with women. And I've always observed that one of the reasons why sometimes the feminist movement, which has sometimes the people say that it has a bad name, because some people, in my opinion, don't know the real definition of feminism. But if you look up the feminism in the dictionary, it will tell you feminism is the movement for the equal rights of women. It doesn't mean that we feel that we're better or worse than men. It just basically means that we're fighting for the equal rights of women. So that being the case, any man who stands for the equal rights of women is actually a feminist.
I definitely want to give a shout out to those courageous men as well, who are standing behind the women and saying, you know what, yeah, this isn't fair. Having different pay scales is not right. And like, let's make an even playing field in all areas. It's
absolutely
kudos, congrats, like, thank you guys for supporting us, because here's the thing, we are one race, the human race. There is no reason why we all shouldn't have an even playing field in whatever industry we are working in, and an even platform to share our stories and our voice and our perspectives with the world.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I honestly think that a new dawn is, or new era is dawning. I agree completely 100% with Oprah. I feel like this would have not happened in the 80s. What's happening now is not happening in the 90s. It's happening now when I think the world is ready to have this movement come on. And the fact that it's happening now is very exciting. And it's happening. It's happening. We're going to see a change. And I can't wait to see 30 years down the line what this, what this movement, this new movement has created in terms of shifting the equal rights of women and getting us just a little bit closer to getting paid the equal pay as men, and to also be when we come out and we say things that are not right, to be heard and to and to be accepted.
Yeah, I know that we are referring to this as a new movement, but actually this movement was started by an activist named Tarana Burke back in 1997. And my understanding was that she didn't gain much of a platform because she didn't have that platform, exactly. Not like we do now. It is emerging. This is a dawn of a new day. And I think a lot of that has to go hand in hand with our technology, with having the cell phones, with having the internet, with having the ability to just plug in and do our own talk show at the drop of a hat and share our perspective. I'm so grateful for those women and men before us that have set the foundation. And then now it's lining up in such a way that you could, mamas, I know you're busy. You're running around chasing the kids, your moment to just kind of like put on some Netflix and just like hang out for a bit and zone out. You can do that, but you also now have this ability to share your voice, to share your story, to shine a light on the injustices that have taken place and happened to you, so that hopefully we can dissipate all of that negativity.
Absolutely.
And bring some equality to the world.
Yes, absolutely. And talking about dissipating, and in order to make that into shifting and creating change, I think one of the most important and absolutely shifting, world shifting things is being a mother. And as a mother, we have the right, or we have the ability to mold the mind of our children and to allow them, for our daughters to know that they are worthy, and also for our sons to know and to work in partnership with women, and for them to be, to be happy when they see powerful women. And we are that voice for women that our children see. And so when we take that as important, they also see it. Actually, I have a really cool story. During the elections, my son ended up writing this beautiful defense for Hillary Clinton when she was running. And the reason why he was saying that he wanted her to win was because she believed in equal rights for women. And I, as a mother, when I read his essay, and his teacher actually sent it to me and said, you have to read this, like your son wrote this. And I'm like, wow. It was a moment where I realized that I have a huge impact, that we have a huge impact as women on what our children, what they take in, and what they see as important. Oh. So if we see as women's movement as important, not only will our daughters see it as important, but our sons. And if we speak to our sons about this, not just our daughters, it's also having that conversation with our sons, and having all of these difficult conversations sometimes when they get to be teenagers, and talk to them about, the things that are appropriate or are not appropriate, and all of these different how would you say, difficult conversations, like what goes on in colleges, and how, about gang rapes, or, all of these things, these conversations, we should not hide from them. Like Molly was saying in the beginning, it's time for the secrets and for us to come out from the shadows and not hide any longer, and have these open conversations with our daughters and our sons.
Yes, I'm so glad that you bring that up. Having these conversations with our daughters and our sons is going to be so powerful. And it's such a great reminder to the mommies watching. Like, you might feel like, oh, who am I? I'm not a celebrity. I'm not a top political person. I'm not a news anchor. What does it matter what my voice or opinion makes? Like, what does it make? It does. It does. It might feel like it's in a small way, but if it is just as simple, I say simple, but if it is just as a conversation with your own child, about what's going on in the world, you're making a difference, mama. So keep sharing.
Absolutely.
Teaching. Great point.
Absolutely, making a difference. We want to hear from you, ladies. We want to know how you guys feel that you're making a difference and how you feel connected to this women's movement or not. We're open to different opinions. Let us know what you think. Hit like on our Facebook Live. Know that we're here every single Tuesday at 1 p.m. EST, 12 p.m. What is it, Pacific Mountain?
12 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Central Standard Time. Sorry, I'm EST. I'm Eastern Standard Time. So 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah.
And yes, let us know. And Molly, tell them where they can follow you on social media.
Yeah, you can follow me on social media at Molly and Luna, but also go check out Mindful Mamas TV. I release fresh content there every week.
Yes, and she also has an amazing podcast that
yeah,
you should tell us about.
Yeah, so my podcast, I actually do it with my mom. It's really fun. It's called Once Upon a Mama, and new episodes air every Wednesday. And Valentina, you just launched your new podcast. Tell us about that.
Yes. So I have a bilingual podcast for Latina mamacitas, and I interview inspiring Latina women. And that one you can find under Mamas Con Ganas podcast under iTunes. Or you can go to my website, mamasconganas.com.
Amazing.
It's been a pleasure talking about this, Molly. I feel like, yeah.
Can I just, it's the first time I've been so nervous about having a daughter. My babe's 17 months old. And it's the first time I'm starting to feel really hopeful that I'm not going to have to try to save her or safeguard her from the corrupt world that's out there as far as the sexual abuse and sexual assault. I'm going to be able to raise a confident, empowered woman. And it's just, I'm so grateful that we're having these conversations so that she's going to be so much more well-equipped to step into any situation. And really with the women that are making this movement right now, like, let's just dissipate it completely and let's make it a non-issue moving forward.
Yes. You should take this as a breath of fresh air and go girls, go sisterhood. And we will see you ladies next week, you mamas, at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, Molly, I gotta go. My baby just woke up from his nap.
Yeah, it's close to lunchtime here. So I'll see you later, Mama.
Okay, ciao.